Hello everypony, I'm Jaffaarchfiend and these are my thoughts on episode 6, Power Ponies. And Mr. Cooler, would you care to do the honors?
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone.
Do what?
Because I f***ing called it!
Why that clip from Abridged, you ask? Well, back in my animatics thoughts video, I proposed that this would only really work if they'd been sucked into the comic book. Which they were. Thank you for not going another it's real route. One fictional reality becoming reality was enough for the fandom this season. I have to say, this episode was alright. It wasn't that great an episode in my opinion, to be honest. I've got two fanon issues first before I get to my real problems with this episode. The first is, you call them Power Ponies, but no Pony Megazord. Come on, Hasbro, you missed out big time. A Pony Megazord, those would be flying off the shelves. The second is, you stick Pinkie Pie into a comic book world, and there's no hyper fourth wall breaking. I come to think of it, I think she has one at the end, when she brings cupcakes out of the comic into the real world. Does that count as fourth wall breaking if you bring something from a comic book world into your real world when your real world is a TV show? My head hurts. Anyway, on to my real issues with this episode. It's another self-worth episode. Seriously, guys, this makes this the third one in a row. I mean, you've got Daring Don't, Flight to the Finish, and now this one. If all of Season 4 is going to be self-worth lesson episodes, this is going to make for a very dull and long season. The shading in this, I know they're zapped into a comic book world and all, but come on, it looked, well, flat compared to the previous 5 episodes so far. And why didn't Rarity or Twilight even attempt to use their own magic in the comic world? I mean, I get that they're the characters in the book, they're playing the roles of the characters in the comic and all, but they still have their own personalities, their own voices, and their own whelp selves. You would have expected when Rainbow asked them to zap them back out of the comic that Twilight would have at least attempted to use a teleportation spell. That would have made a lot more sense in my opinion than them just shrugging and going along with the whole we can only use the comic book powers thing that they did in this episode. It would have made more sense if she tried, failed, and then they figured out, oh, we can only use the comic book powers. That would have made more sense. And was it just me? Or did there seem to be these kind of like empty gaps in the episode? Like, for example, this part right here.
Some pony want to tell me what the hay is going on? Holy new personas, ponies!
I'm not imagining it, right? That was a good 2 to 3 second gap. I mean, you got AJ asking, Spike turn. There's no sound for Spike turning around, so after AJ asks, there's a gap of sound between Applejack asking and then the music cueing with Spike doing his whole holy new personas bit. I just felt the timing to be off. And there are other points in the episode where there are similar gaps. Overall, they build up to quite a bit of time missed. Almost at least, I think, about 30 seconds? I don't want to say this because I've done animation at college. I do the editing for this. What little editing I do. And I know that takes a bit of time. But it almost felt as if the editing department, or somewhere along the line, maybe the script or something, it just decided to be, I don't know, lazy or something was missing or I don't know, it just felt off. I'm not saying this was a bad episode, it was alright, but it wasn't that great of an episode either. It just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't that good. The one thing I think a lot of people will be talking about, though, is the part at the beginning of this episode, rather than the rest of it. Why are they renovating the old castle? Is it for Twilight to live in now she's a princess? Are Celestia and Luna moving back into it? Is it something to do with the Equestrian Games? Although I highly doubt that would really work out because the Equestrian Games are up in the Crystal Empire. Or is it something to do with the Box of Harmony? It's nice to see something's been done with the place after all these centuries, but would love to know why. Maybe we'll get an answer in a future episode or something. I just hope the next one's not another self-worth episode. 3 in a row is pushing it just a little, I think. Jaffaarchfiend signing out.